Hi, I'm Andrew, the Public Services Specialist at the Bellevue Library Makerspace. In this video, I'll demonstrate the process of running a cut and engraving job on our Epilog Mini 40-watt laser engraver. I'll also cover the operational and material safety procedures that ensure both you and the laser stay safe and healthy during use. The Epilog Mini is a CO2 laser capable of cutting and engraving a variety of materials. It can be used to make all kinds of art and functional projects. Before using the laser for the first time, you must fill out a liability waiver form. You may do this electronically or on paper when you arrive for your appointment. You should come prepared with a design file. A file type of SVG is best, but other file types such as a JPEG or PDF can be converted. Today, to demonstrate the operation of the laser, we're going to make a common project, a plywood box with some custom engraving on the lid. To prepare our designs, we use Adobe Illustrator. If you don't have access to Illustrator, you can make an appointment to use Illustrator on our digital design workstations here in the Makerspace. You can also use other software, such as the free and open source program Inkscape, to create your design, and then import it into Illustrator on our laser cutter workstation. We've got our design ready to go, but I'm going to double check a couple of settings. The lines that we want to be cut need to have a stroke weight of 0.001 inches, which we can see here in Illustrator. That looks good, so we can go to File, then Print. We will select the Epilog laser as the printer from the drop-down menu. Next, we will double-check some print settings. We click Setup, then Preferences, and here we need to ensure that Autofocus is checked and Send to Manager is checked. We also want to double-check our material size. I like to leave this at 18 inches by 12 inches, which is the maximum size for the Epilog Mini. Okay, everything looks good here, so I will say OK, then Print. We often need to click Setup and Print once more in order to get the settings to apply in the Illustrator print window. One more thing that I like to do is select the placement for my design, and I find that the upper left corner will make it easier to align my design on my material. When we click Print, we will get an error message in Illustrator, and that's okay. Now we can switch over to the Epilog Job Manager program. You will find a shortcut to it on the Windows desktop. In the Jobs tab, we see my project listed, and I'm going to double-click on it to bring up the settings for the job. In the window that opens, we are presented with the Information tab, but the first thing I like to do is look at the Preview tab. This allows me to confirm that the raster and vector portions are correct, as well as move my design around on the material if needed. This looks good, so I'll set the job back to combine so that both raster and vectors are run. Then I switch back over to the Information tab, where we will enter our settings for the job. We need to enter speed and power settings for both the raster and vector. And we can find the correct settings on the laminated charts that are available next to the laser workstation. These charts are good starting points for settings, but your exact piece of material may need slight adjustments. For this reason, it's good to have a piece that you can do a test on. We are using 1/4 inch plywood for this job, so I'll enter those settings and click Save. With that, everything looks ready to go for our job. We just need to turn on the laser and start cutting. The laser power switch is located here on the side. On the floor behind the laser, there's also an air pump that needs to be turned on when using the laser. Next, we'll place our material on the cutting bed, making sure it is aligned properly in the upper left corner. Then, with the lid closed, we're ready to send the job to the laser. I'll click the printer icon, which will send the job, and then we'll see the file name appear here on the screen of the laser. And now we get to press the green Go button. Because we have autofocus enabled, the laser will move to its starting point and then set its correct focus distance from the material. Then, the laser will do the engraving first and follow with the vector cutting. Our cutting job is finished, and we can see that the laser cutter screen now says Done. It is safe to open the lid and remove our material. Depending on your design, there may be many small pieces left on the cutting table. Please remove all scraps of material so that the laser is left ready for the next patron. Now that we are done, we can close the lid and turn off the laser and air pump. We can also close our files in Illustrator. When you are finished with your appointment, please double check that you have all of your belongings and everything you may have used has been cleared from the laser workstation. Wood and acrylic are the most popular materials to use in the laser. Both are safe, but the woods must not have any paints, finish, or oils applied to it, otherwise it could release dangerous gases when burned by the laser. Other materials that are safe to use and engrave include glass, marble, and rubber sheets made specifically for laser cutting. There are also many materials that are dangerous to cut with the laser. This is mostly due to them releasing toxic gases when burned, or because they are very prone to starting fires. Examples of this include PVC and other plastics, styrofoam, some faux leather, and many other materials. When you bring material into the library to use in the laser cutter, staff must be able to identify it and verify it is safe. So please leave identifying labels or packaging intact. You may also show us the exact online product listing for the material to help verify that it is safe for laser cutter use. The library does have a very limited supply of plywood and acrylic material. You may use one sheet for free during a laser cutter appointment, but we cannot guarantee that a color or size will be available, and if you are working on a project, you should bring your own. Staff will be in the makerspace during your appointment and available to help you get started using the laser cutter. They are happy to answer questions about basic operation of the equipment. If you would like to learn more about laser cutters and designing for them, there are many great resources available, including LinkedIn Learning, which you can access using your KCLS library account. You can find more details in our laser cutter resource guide on the KCLS Makerspace website. The website is also where you can go to book an appointment to use the laser cutter.